everybody, and welcome to Comics from the Future. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and this is our big show where we show you some of the biggest and best books that are on pre-order for this weekend. Your pre-orders are due Sunday at 9, so head on over to infinityflux.net right now where you can start making your pre-orders so you don't have to worry about these books selling out in a few weeks when they are released. They'll already be set aside for you and you will be good to go because this is another ginormous week of books.
Where have I heard that before? Last week and the week before and the week before and the week before?
I mean, this is, we're in the belly of the beast when it comes to the big time for comics, because the stuff we're talking about now is like late summer, fall, that kind of stuff, which is a big time for comics. I mean, we always talk about the big fall events, and we know we're going to be getting that from DC and stuff. So all that being said, it's going to be like this, I think, for a few more weeks that are just going to be chock full of stuff. But let's get into this week's with Prime Comic pre-orders.
We are going to start with Predator Kills the Marvel Universe #1. This is written by Benjamin Percy, and the art is by Marcelo Ferreira. And I do believe that this takes place in the same... I don't want to say universe, because then people start thinking multiverses.
Continuity.
But continuity with the other Predator versus books, Wolverine, Black Panther, Spider-Man.
Those so far have also been within the same continuity.
I think there's only been veiled references to one or the other, but it is one single continuity, and this is the next part. And you see this Predator here. He is a Predator King that is armed with a new vibranium arsenal, which was, talked about in the Predator versus Black Panther. And he's aided by a surprising human ally as he launches an all-out invasion of Earth. And it does say that shocking twists and turns abound as the entire Marvel Universe finds itself in the Predator's tri-laser crosshairs. And I love the idea of every hero having the three little red dots on them. So this is the next part in the Predator versus saga, but now a bunch of heroes are involved instead of just singular heroes here and there. So it should be really cool. Now, this is the A cover. There are variant covers available for this, but at the time of recording, none of them were visible on the distributor's website, which we pull these covers from. So the listings are out there, but we have no idea what the covers look like, any of them. This is the only one that we actually have an image for. So hopefully by the time you go to pre-order your books, hopefully those covers will be available. They'll be available to click on.
Yeah.
You just won't know what it looks like. I mean, we can see them there, but it all says no cover available, one after the other. So hopefully they will be visible by the time you pre-order your stuff. We also want to just let you know, since we're talking about Predator Versus, this is Predator versus Spider-Man #3, the third printing. #1. I'm sorry, Predator versus Spider-Man #1, the third printing. And this one's been pretty cool too, as Spider-Man and Kraven both are kind of trying to figure out what's going on in New York with this weird Predator sort of stalking the streets. And there's 3 other Predators that come after that Predator, and Spider-Man ends up fighting those guys. It's really, really cool. I like it a lot. So this will be... it'll be cool to see Predator Kills the Marvel Universe come after this one, and this is the third printing.
Pretty soon we're gonna hit Omnibus of Predator
versus that'd be cool.
With all of these books. Well, next up I want to talk about Batman #161. Now, you may have seen a while back that some of these issues got delayed. Well, they are back now. So we have part 4 of Batman Hush 2, and last we left our heroes, something very unusual happened as Damian Wayne and Bane broke into the scene
out of nowhere,
like they are teamed up.
Yep.
And this one does say, because there's not a whole lot of information for this, Damian, Bane team up. So maybe this will give us some explanation, maybe a little flashback a couple hours earlier where they found out that they both got a lot in common.
Yeah.
They both hate Batman, and they decide to work together. But still looking forward to this, seeing what is the big picture going on here in Batman. So, since we had that little delay, we wanted to highlight Bush. That's Bush. Batman and Hush mixed. Bush 161. So don't miss out on that. And of course, for this one, we got a ton of covers. So this is your Jim Lee A cover. We have a Lionel Francis Yu variant, a Gabriel Del Otto connecting variant, a Frank Cho cover, a George Perez legacy cover, a Jim Lee, a foil version like they've been doing for all of them, and a Jimenez Superman movie cover, which is very kind of reminiscent of.
Jorge Jimenez is. Oh, that is. Oh,
Yeah,
but his drawing of Superman sitting on the cloud.
yeah, yeah,
Is that what you're talking about?
yeah. It might be like a more like movie version
Oh,
of
right.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all very cool, and we've got this coming out, but Batman #1 I think is still slated for September.
Yeah, so that's gonna be weird. I don't know how that's gonna work, but we'll see.
We might be getting Batman 160 something
And
along this,
also #1.
and also
Yeah.
#1 at the same
I don't
time.
know.
But who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Next up is DC's Kal-El-Fornia. No, I almost did it again. DC's California Love. I nearly said California Fornication like the Red Hot Chili Pepper song. But no. DC's Kal-El-Fornia Love. Why can't I say that? This is a one-shot, and this is a series of action-packed short stories featuring the super family traveling through California. We don't know everything about every story, but we do know there's going to be a story about Supergirl's day at the beach being ruined by a demonic creature and John Constantine. There's a story where John and Connor team up to wrangle an escaped beast. There's a story where Bizarro crashes an audition for a major motion picture. And then it says Superman and Lois deal with a kaiju that has come to ruin their vacation. So that's 4 different stories right there, and I don't know if there's going to be more than that or not. But yeah, just a fun summertime one shot, which is some quick little one and done stories featuring various members of the Superman family. So this is our A cover. We have a Marcio Takara variant, and there's a Mahmoud Asrar variant with Power Girl.
Yeah, I love that they do these, and we talk about this a lot. You could have some really serious stories going on, like what's going on with Superman and all of that. But never forget, these are fun comic book characters
Yeah.
that can have fun summer adventures or Halloween stories or whatever. It's just kind of, it sheds a different light on them
Yeah.
and gives you a different flavor. Well, next up, we've got Spider-Man versus the Sinister 16. This is the final of the one-shots by J. Michael Straczynski that are a character in the Marvel Universe teamed up with a unlikely other character. And this one, I guess not teamed up, sometimes they're verses. But this one is, instead of Sinister 6, there's 16 of them, I guess. The art in this one is going to be by Phil Noto. Not a whole lot of information. It's just Peter's just trying to have a nice night out, but the old Parker Luck has filled this evening with an assortment of some of Marvel's most vile villains. So you see some traditional Spider-Man villains there, and also some not so much, like Mystique. And in the bottom left, is that
I'm not sure.
Is that what's his name? No, it's not the Red Ghost.
No. I was thinking Mad Thinker, but I don't think he looks like that. I don't think he's bald.
But whatever it is, I don't think that's a traditional Spider-Man villain.
Yeah.
Especially with the weird costume.
Yeah. Oh, it's Lex Luthor.
Oh, of course. Why don't we? It's. But this sounds really cool. I've enjoyed a lot of these team up issues so far, and rounding it off with a Spider-Man one is going to be really, really cool. So this is your A cover. We have a Nick Bradshaw. That one is awesome.
Yeah.
It looks like a trading card. And we have a Phil Noto, which is your interior artist, and a very egg-headed Doc Ock. But Spider-Man's there with Mary Jane, which is always a plus.
Yep. All right, so next is Look Into My Eyes #1. This is going to be a 5-issue miniseries from Mad Cave. This is written and drawn by Ruben Kubels. And this sounds really cool. So it's set in a quiet town called Cravenwood, and there's a high school student named Susie who mysteriously vanishes. So there's another high school student named RJ Nguyen. She is a conspiracy-obsessed teenager, and she is determined to find Susie, figure out what happened to her. Well, during her investigation, RJ learns about a social app called Knock Knock that seems to have taken over the town. And it also says there are also many-eyed monsters lurking in the shadows, which doesn't really sound like it fits with everything else.
Just a little for extra spice. There's monsters.
Yeah, but so what sounds really cool about this is that there are QR codes embedded throughout the book where you can scan them and learn more about Cravenwood and this mystery by reading the character's social media and exploring secret documents and hidden clues about the town itself. So it's a little bit interactive. Like you can try to figure out the mystery yourself by scanning these things and just trying and reading a few extra things that actually aren't in the book. So I think that sounds really
It also
awesome.
kind of extends the life of the book. You know,
Yeah,
instead of just reading right through and setting it down, you read a few pages. Oh, there's one. I want to see what this.
yeah.
So it'll take you little bit longer to read if you want to get the full experience.
Yeah, so and it'll be cool to see, if we can figure out the mystery before the end based on all those clues, or
Mhm.
if we get to the end of the series and then we can go back and say, oh,
Yeah,
that person talked about being over in this place on one night,
yeah.
and that's I don't know, but it sounds really unique. So I'm very much looking forward to this. This is our A cover. There is a Miguel Mercado variant. There's a Noji San.
Nope,
I'm looking at the
you
wrong.
were looking at the
My
wrong
bad.
one.
This is the Maria Lovett cover. I was like two down. Wow. Yeah. So there's only two covers: the A cover and this Maria Lovett cover.
I like all the creepy eyes too
Yeah.
on that
I
one.
guess that's a mini-eyed monsters.
Yeah, it's actually your
Yeah.
pants.
Oh wow.
Oh no! Next up, I'm really excited about this one. I've already pre-ordered this, but I'll show you in a second which cover I pre-orders. This is T.A.M.A, or it's T period A period M period A period. So I'm not sure exactly what it stands for. It doesn't say that. But this is very much in line with you get the idea of Tamagotchi or Pokemon or Digimon. This is by Adam Schlagman and Doug Pasco with art by Daniel HDR. And this is, for one, the first title by Panic Entertainment. So a new publisher, Panic. I'm not sure if they're a like sub, publisher of
Yeah.
something else. I'm not quite sure, but it is cool that we are getting a new one that maybe we'll start seeing the name pop up a little bit more. And in this, it says what would happen after years of neglect of virtual pets like Tamagotchi, Digimon, and Neopets, and they returned for revenge. So imagine you had your Tamagotchi and you left it in a drawer when you were a kid, and then years later you found it. What if that little creature now is harboring a grudge for being neglected for so long? Well, that's kind of what this is about. When a grieving, lonely teen stumbles upon an old virtual pet system, he finds comfort from, I guess, the kind of childhood. I remember loving this thing. But when gruesome deaths begin to follow, he wonders, could this be his digital companion responsible?
But how? Because they're digital.
I don't know. It looks like it's like popped out, so I don't know if it's almost, is it more like a Furby? Is it like, oh, it's an actual like,
Yeah.
or in this universe did they come out of the game and you play with them or
I don't know.
something? I'm not sure. I like the idea this might be the normal version and then it evolves into that, which is really cool. But it says it mixes the nostalgia of virtual pets with the generation phenomenon of Pokemon. So I really like that. I love this Destin to Win A cover. Gotta kill them all. It's definitely wearing its influences on its
Yeah.
sleeve, but I think that's awesome. I always thought it'd be cool to have a more like what if Pokemon were real, or what if this were real?
Yeah.
Um,
What if Pikachu turned on Ash? He's like, I'm tired of living in that ball, and they just zapped him.
so I think this sounds really cool. It's gonna be 6 issues, and I did want to show. So usually we don't show incentive covers. We might start doing that a little bit more. It just takes we can't tell you the price right away. It's almost more when those please inquire because it
Mhm.
does require. For this one I'm about to show, it's 1 in 10. It requires us to order 10 copies to get one of this cover. So it is priced up a little bit. But you can always pre-order those variants on our website, infinityflux.net, and we will send you the price, and then you can approve or deny it. And this one I did because this is awesome. This hit every nostalgia bone in my body, being a 90s kid growing up playing Pokemon. So this is the Tony Fleek's video game homage, and it looks just like
You said this one I did. I thought you didn't try this.
no, no,
Okay. Okay. I was like, wait, you didn't tell me you did
no.
another
I
variant.
wish.
Yeah.
But this is reminiscent, very much of Pokemon Yellow with Pikachu on the cover. But for I think all of these issues, there's going to be a 1 in 10 that looks like this. This one is purple version, and I think the next one is called like Poison version, and it's got a green monster on it.
Okay.
But I saw this, the font, everything, and I loved it. So I've already pre-ordered the 1 in 10 for this. So if you want this as well, you can head on over to infinityflux.net, click on that. It'll send us a thing. We'll send you the price for it. It's just all based on the ratio number and how many we're ordering and all of that. And you can as well have this awesome 1 in 10.
I love that tagline at the bottom. That sounds like a cheesy '80s horror movie, like
Almost like that could be Gremlins or
yeah, you
something.
raised it, now it's raising hell. It almost sounds like I can't think of the Chuds. I think was one
Oh,
of them.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
like those real cheesy '80s creature movies. Yeah, like
Yeah, I love that. It's got like the little Nintendo seal of approval down
yeah,
there. So this is really cool. I think this is going to be a very hot cover.
yeah. All right, so now this is the right one. So this is Bring on the Bad Guys Loki #1. And this one is from Anthony Oliveira and Mark Guggenheim. And this says that, Loki needs a favor from Mephisto. And we do know after reading the Doom one of these that Mephisto is part of this story. Loki needs a favor from Mephisto, and in return, Mephisto commands him to retrieve a soul belonging to an agent of Khonshu. And after reading the Doom book, it does make a lot of sense why Mephisto wants another soul from Loki and why it wants that to be from an agent of Khonshu, because that was all explained in that Doom issue. And this is just the next part. Like we said, after reading the Doom one, it does seem like there is a continuing story through each one of these, but each issue just focuses on a different villain. Like, I don't think Doctor Doom's going to be in this one. And
No, and I do think so the first one was Doctor Doom. The last one is Mephisto.
okay,
I think those are kind of bookends, like
uh-huh.
those two connect, and all the ones in the center kind of um, keep this story going, but will be a little bit more standalone as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. So this is our A cover. We have a Miguel Mercado variant. See, I'm doing it right now. This is a Nogi San Sister Sorrow variant. There's a Romy Jones variant and a Todd Knock Iconic variant.
And we'll be talking about the Green Goblin
That's right.
issue on Monday.
Yep.
So the Bring on the Bad Guys Green Goblin. That one I'm really interested in
Mhm.
because the Doom one, the Khonshu thing makes sense, all that. I don't quite know how Green Goblin and Norman Osborn factor into this story.
And the solicitation made it sound like, well, it made it sound like it was set in the past. Plus,
Yeah.
I don't think this is in current continuity anyway because it never mentioned One World Under Doom or
Yeah.
anything like that. So it might, in this continuity, Norman Osborn might still be the Green Goblin. I'm not really sure, but we'll know more on Monday.
Yeah. Well, next up, we have a new one shot for Werewolf by Night, and this is really cool. This is Werewolf by Night Blood Moon Rise. And this is by Michael Giacchino, who was the director of the Werewolf by Night,
Oh, the special
the
presentation?
special, which
Yeah.
is maybe one of my favorite Marvel
Oh, yeah.
things in
It
years.
was
I
great.
love that.
Hmm.
So it's by him, who's also an incredible composer and composed a lot of Star Wars music and everything. He's fantastic.
Wait, who is it again?
Michael Giacchino.
Oh, he did the music for Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah, so he
I
also
love that music.
yeah, he writes as well. And this is by him and Jason Liu, who you may know from the current Werewolf by Night, kind of the last couple Werewolf by Nights Jason Liu has worked on. This is going to be a one shot. It's broken into, I believe, a main story and then a backup story. And in the main story, it doesn't give you a whole lot of detail about what's going on. It says the clock is ticking before Moonlight transforms Jack Russell into Werewolf by Night once more. Of course, that's what happens. In a dungeon, our hero faces Dracula, whose motivations are shrouded in mystery. Now, I want to see Werewolf by Night versus Dracula.
Yeah.
I want the MCU version of that too.
Yep.
Like I want that to be the second Werewolf by Night feature. And the backup story for this also is really cool because it's written and drawn by Jason Liu. And I saw there's some preview pages online of this, and it looks really cool. And not no information about that one, but if you're jonesing for some new Werewolf by Night, some more Jack Russell, don't miss out on this. A really cool sounding one shot. We've got our A cover here. We have a Joiner Marvel Studios variant and a Casanovas variant. Yeah, I watch this every Halloween now.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so
Required
it's
viewing.
so
Yeah.
cool. I haven't watched it in color yet. I know there's the color version of it,
Oh, I haven't either.
but I think
yeah.
the black and white
The
is
black and
just
white
so
fits.
cool.
Yeah. Next up is Godzilla Escape the Deadzone #1. So this is the second book in the new connected Godzilla universe that IDW is doing. We got a preview of this in the free Comic Book Day book that featured all three of these books. This is written by Ethan Parker and Griffin Sheridan. The art is by Pablo Tunica. And in this, this takes place in the Dead Zone, which is a walled-off portion of the Pacific Northwest that's been sequestered after the most disastrous Godzilla attack the country has ever faced. I guess they're like, everything's destroyed, put a wall around it, and call it a day.
And forget about
Yeah.
it.
So the government says that nothing is still alive in this area, but that is not true at all. There are tales of a half man, half kaiju who lives there, and he can allegedly kill kaiju. And some say he's not the only one of his kind. And we saw in the free Comic Book Day book, it's actually a pretty populated area, and it's full of mutants and mutated creatures and mutated people and things like that. Don't really, I guess, maybe like residual radiation from Godzilla caused it. I'm not really sure, but so yeah, this new character here, I guess he's going to get into all kinds of adventures, and it was really cool. I really enjoyed the free Comic Book Day book. All three different stories in it.
Are they in the same universe?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but it feels like, is there not an instigating act that sets all of this up? Feels like there should be like a
I don't think
one shot
or
something.
I think Godzilla is just Godzilla's existence it causes all this, and they're not really related. Like this takes place. This is about just like these mutated creatures in one part of the country. It doesn't really have much to do with Godzilla.
Okay.
The main Godzilla book is about that G-Force team trying to kill Godzilla. So they're in the same universe, but they're not really connected in any way.
Yeah.
The other one's in space, so they're pretty separate still. So this is our A cover. We have a Rod Rice variant. There is a Tunica concept art variant.
That's cool.
And a sketch variant.
I like what he looks like.
Yeah.
That's really
cool. Tail, yeah. Very Hellboy.
Yeah. Well, next up, we have What If Goofy Became Spider-Man? This pretty much explains itself. This continues on the what if a Disney character became a Marvel character. We have,
and finally, it's a Disney character that's not Donald Duck.
It's not Donald Duck. It's not Donald Duck becoming Wolverine or Donald Duck becoming Thor,
Iron Man.
Iron Man. It's not Mickey Mouse and his friends become Fantastic Four. No, finally, Goofy gets the spotlight. This is by Steve Bailing and Riccardo Secchi, and with art by Francesco Di Polito. And my notes say exactly what it sounds like. The solicitation for this basically just says, what if Goofy was Spider-Man, and what are those Beagle boys up to? They're always up to something in all of these. I do wonder how they're gonna maybe twist the story a little bit. Does Goofy's uncle Ben, the dog, get killed by a mugger that he let go? I'm not sure. But they've all had kind of enough of a twist that it takes you a second to round it back to the original, like with the Iron Man one was very different and everything.
I want to see this book's version of Death of Gwen Stacy.
Oh my gosh, Gorsh!
Yeah.
I think her neck snapped. So maybe if this sells well, we'll finally get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to the Clone Saga.
Yeah,
and
right.
The
Craven's Last Hunt.
But this is your A cover for that. We have a
that's cool.
Frecero cover.
I want that book. I want Disney Fantastic Four. Mickey as Reed Richards, and I want all that.
Yeah, that because that's kind of homaging all the ones we've gotten so far. There's also this Phil Noto variant. There is a Ron Lim variant, and of course a Scotty Young variant. I don't like how the mask goes all over his face.
I mean, it makes sense, I guess, but yeah, I like the other ones better.
Either his teeth are sticking out of the mask, or the mask conforms to his weird mouth. Oh, this one.
Oh my gosh.
We can talk about this one.
Yes, I could spend the rest of the day talking about this one. So this is Superman number 28. Andy and I got a chance to read this earlier today, and I am not joking when I say my jaw opened more than once when I was reading this. So this is kind of like you see here it says Legion of Darkseid Part 1, and this is kind of the big kickoff for what will be the big DC event coming in October, I want to say.
Yeah.
We still don't know what that event is yet. It doesn't have a name or anything like that, but we do know it centers around Darkseid. And there's been seeds planted here and there, especially in the We Are Yesterday crossover and that kind of thing. But this is where it really kind of gets going.
Yeah.
So, Darkseid's Legion has come out of the shadows and they attack Superman, and they do.
Yeah.
And they attack more than just Superman in this as well. What is their deadly mission, and how does it kick off the next phase of All In? So, and I mean, it's interesting that they say next phase because we know that it's going to kick off some kind of big event, but what's going to happen after that event, right? I have no idea, but it does talk about a next phase. Yeah.
Almost like year 2 of All In.
It's a crucial issue that sets up a massive event for Superman and the DC universe. This thing is awesome. Superman does come face to face with the Legion of Darkseid, which is, and we don't know, we were talking about this earlier, we don't know if they are corrupted versions of the Cosmic Boy, Lightning Lad, and Saturn Girl that we know, or are they, I think they come from the Absolute Universe.
It almost feels
because
like
they know Darkseid.
They know Darkseid, and without giving too much away, this Saturn Girl is not as familiar with Superman as the regular Saturn Girl we know.
Yeah.
And this sounds crazy because I know Legion are a pretty hefty thing to take on.
Mm-hmm.
One of maybe the most daunting group of characters to read. One, this was awesome. Like you're not introduced to like 30 of them like in some of the books. You've got some of the main ones here. But honestly, if you are not reading Superman, you are missing out on one of the best books. Even if you're like, I don't know, I don't really love Superman. This is, we always say it, one of the best books coming out where every issue has moments of, oh my gosh, what just happened?
There was a part where something happens and my eyes got big, and then you turn the page and find out more about what happened. And I said, I was audibly exclaiming as I was reading the book, like, this is one of those books that gives me an a physical and emotional response instead of just like reading and you're done. I was invested. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, like I was having reactions
moment, I guess
to
like
this.
the last like 3 pages, there's this thing like there's a location, and then you're like, oh, what's this all about? And then the final page and some of the dialogue, what it alludes to, and everything. Immediately, I texted you, and it's like, here's what we need to be reading. Like, here's some ancillary material.
Yeah, I was like, I need to break out this omnibus and refresh and all that stuff. So, holy cow, we are not joking. This issue is amazing.
And it has some really heartfelt moments, too.
Yeah.
The opening of this is like one of the like favorite scenes of this entire series so far.
Yeah, it's unbelievably good. I cannot wait for everybody to read this and for then more to come out and we start to learn about whatever this big event is. We know it's going to involve Darkseid somehow, some way, but we don't know that much yet.
Yeah, and oh man, the stuff, because the whole time you're like, but Darkseid's dead. What you learn in this is very interesting, and it's not all the answers, but it does start getting your mind going about, oh, well, let me think about
maybe I misinterpreted something, or
so, and Dan Mora's art, he's back on art in this issue, and it's, once again, every issue stepping it up. Fantastic.
Oh my gosh. I want to go read it again. It was so awesome. So this is our A cover by Dan Mora. There's a Nathan Zerdy variant. There's a Gilliam March variant. There is a Tulalote variant, and then there's a foil version of that A cover.
It's a spot foil, which is what Marvel's been doing that looks so good. DC's been keeping to the full foil, but this one does say spot foil, and I'm very interested to see, is DC like stepping it up and trying to do some more of the like really intricate foil like Marvel is.
Yeah, because I think the spot foil covers are cooler, even though there's less foil because it's not a whole thing. I think it's better because it accentuates the artwork better. Like maybe the lightning and maybe those rings are foil.
I love it too if the characters aren't foil, but the background is, so they really kind of look like they're sitting on top of it.
Yeah. Oh, this is fantastic.
Well, next up we have Star Wars: The High Republic finale #1. Still, I talked about this on our Wednesday show. I still don't know if this is a couple of issues or it's just a one-shot. I am leaning towards a one-shot kind of capstone to the High Republic. This is by Kavan Scott and the art's by Marika Cresta. And this is actually set after the final novel. So the novels have been really the the big stepping stones of the High Republic. That is where big story leaps happen. The comics and everything else kind of weave between them. Whereas like the novels will set up something big, then the rest of the series explore that idea. The final novel is out now. I'm actually listening to the audiobook now, and this is going to take place after that. And so this is going to deal with the fallout from everything that happened in here, because we know this is, leading from here. We are not too far away from the Acolyte, and then of course the prequels. So, the final fight between the Nile and the Jedi have been fought, sacrifices have been made, and the dust settles as friends and allies gather for one last celebration. A decision is made, and a fate is sealed. Guest starring faces from across the best selling multimedia initiative, and all roads lead to Dalna. Which, this is just getting into. If you're not into the High Republic stuff, you can tune out for a second. But this is really exciting because Dalna is a big location from Phase 2, which was set hundreds of years before the other phases, and it looks like we're tying it all back in with that to kind of give a, connecting all the threads once again, which I think is awesome and incredible, and I'm so excited about this. I'm very sad to see High Republic end, because it's something I had a part in, and I loved every second of it. But I can't wait to see what comes next. And yeah, if you've been reading the High Republic, you don't want to miss this final piece of the puzzle. So very excited. This is your A cover for that. We have a Chris Sprouse Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary variant. Talk about making you feel old, because I always heard the people who were like, I went to see A New Hope in theaters. Yeah. I'm like, and this is like, 20 years. I went to the midnight release of this movie.
Oh, yeah.
And then we have the Giuseppe Camuncoli variant as well.
Who's that?
That's Keeve Trennis. She's been like the main character through this whole thing, and her master skier.
I like him too. They look cool.
It's been a fantastic series, and very sad to see it end, but it means there's something great right behind it.
Next up is Flash, the Bad Moon Rising special. This is a one-shot. Just continuing the Bad Moon Rising storyline, if you've been reading that in the main Flash run. And in this one, the focus turns to the Rogues, rather it turns to the Rogues' role as Eclipso's generals, and to a surprising new ally. So I'm a little bit behind on Flash, so I'm not really sure. I know I read one issue, and there's a lot of stuff going on the moon. And I guess if Eclipso's involved, that kind of makes sense.
And Shade the Changing Man.
I bet that's the surprising ally.
I don't know if that's... Is he still called the Shade the Changing Man, or is that the Shade that has the big jacket? Because there's two shades.
Yeah, I think that's the more classic.
This is like the shadowy shade. Yeah.
So yeah, just wanted to let you know this is part 4 of the Bad Moon Rising story. So I just want to let you know that if you're reading the main Flash book, if you don't get this, you might skip from 3 to 5, because this is the next part of that. And this is our only cover, I believe.
Yep. Next up, very exciting, we have the new History of the DC Universe. Issue 2 of 4. This is fantastic. We just got our first part of this, really defining the current version of the History of the DC Universe, from the very conception of it, with the creation of these
everything
celestial beings and all that, and the Spectre. And the first issue led all the way up to Superman, or at least the destruction of Krypton. Yeah. And here is the big one. This is going to be your kind of prime time of the DC Universe. Superman coming into being, Batman coming into Gotham, Wonder Woman leaving Themyscira. It looks like you're going to get maybe I know you're going to be getting the formation of the Justice League. Mm-hmm. You're going to get Flash, and kind of I know this is not the continuity of this is within the DC Universe, but it makes me think of a lot of Silver Age comics, the Teen Titans, Plastic Man, at least the Silver Age era, even though he was around before that. This is going to be a fantastic one, covering what is maybe one of the most important times in the DC Universe. And this leads up to Crisis on Infinite Earths. So this is that era from Superman arriving to Crisis.
Yeah, and we got a digital preview of this today, too, and I didn't get a chance to read it, but I did flip through it. And this is where, like, so if you read the first one and you're like, where's all the superheroes? I mean, they needed to cover all that stuff in the first one, but this is Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, Teen Titans, John Stewart, Guy Gardner. I'm trying to think of everybody else. Like,
Green Arrow.
yeah, Green Arrow. And so this, yeah, and it goes all the way through. I don't know if it all goes all the way through the end of Crisis, but it does go at least through Supergirl's death in Crisis.
I think they said that because Barry Allen is the one who's writing this through his death.
Yeah.
During Infinite Crisis or Crisis on Infinite Earth. So
Mike Allred does some of the art. I don't know who the other artist is, but so it looks really cool.
I think Todd Nauck is still doing some of the art in it. I'm not positive, but each of these issues has a couple of different artists, kind of reflecting the time periods that this takes place in. And yeah, I can't wait for this one because I love the first one. I love the nitty gritty history of the DC universe. When did this happen? When did this happen? This is for everybody. This is for DC fans. This is for people who love that bonus stuff. Plus just phenomenal art. Really fun to see kind of revisiting classic events and everything. So I can't wait for this. I've not got a chance to skim through this yet, but I'm definitely going to.
Yeah, there's a lot of superheroes in this one. Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what the next one is going to be. I'm not.
It's it's post-crisis stuff, and a big focus of the third one is like the '90s stuff. We have like Azrael, Batman, and the Funeral for a Friend, and the Four Supermen, and all that stuff.
Okay.
Like it's a lot of the '90s stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love this. So this is your A cover for this by Chris Samney, and I'm sure this one's a wraparound as well, like the first one. We have the Dan Mora variant where. We had the first one Wonder Woman, second one Batman. I'm guessing the third one or fourth one's gonna be Superman.
No,
is one of them Flash?
I don't remember. I think one of them is Flash, and I think one is John Kent's, maybe like little John Kent, or maybe it's Superboy. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. I don't remember.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
We also have this fantastic Frank Cho variant with the Black Canary. We have a Scott Koblish. Doing his Every Hero Ever, because you've got Bouncing Boy, you've got Mon-El, a lot of the Legion, Flash, Aqualad. Just always fun to look at these and see Creeper and Etrigan and Kamandi and
Red Tornado.
Yeah,
I love Red Tornado.
And the Doom Patrol and Enemy Ace.
New Gods and Darkseid down here.
Yeah, with the biplane up there. So I love that. And then we also have a Ryan Sook foil variant.
Oh,
which
nice!
Is awesome.
Yeah.
So you've got there you've got Swamp Thing, the New Gods. Yeah.
The Outsiders.
That classic Justice League issue where they're turning into trees.
Yeah. That's great.
Monitor up there.
All right, this is a new book from Image called The Voice Said Kill. This is going to be a 4-issue miniseries. This is written by Cy Spurrier. The art is by Vanessa Del Rey. And it's a 4-issue series, but they are extra-length issues of Fever Dream Cajun Crime. It's described as Fargo meets Deliverance. There's not a lot of information about the story specifically. The solicitation kind of just sets the scene, paints the picture for you. It says, in the wet heat of the Louisiana bayou, alligator poachers prowl the mudbug mire. And it says there is a pregnant park ranger who raises a hateful mug of moonshine with a criminal matriarch. And there's also one deadly SOB out of his mind on mushrooms, and Retribution loads his rifle for the human hunt and screams down the stars. I don't know what any of that means.
I checked out this issue. We got an early preview of it. And yeah, the guy hunting through the bayou is like naked, but like covered in leaves and just nuts.
We do have a preview. I think the preview we have is like 36 pages long or something like that.
It looks really interesting.
Long.
So yeah, I think that like Fargo meets Deliverance is very, but like set in the bayou.
Yeah.
This is on the cover. That's the guy who's out in the woods hunting, and he's crazy. But this looks really cool.
Yeah, this is gonna be $4.99, but it is 36 pages, and so very. I was gonna say crime noir, but it's not really. It's crime. It's bayou crime, I guess.
Yeah. It also very much feels like an old Vertigo book.
Oh, right.
Kind of like 100 Bullets or Scalped or something like that.
And this is the only cover.
Yep. Well, next up, Yay! We have the return of Six Gun. This is a Six Gun battle for the six number one. This is only going to be a 3-issue miniseries. I finally sat down and I'm like, I'm going to read through all of Six Gun. So I have picked up my first omnibus
Yeah.
to fully get into it, and I'm already because I'd already read the first, I don't know, 5 volumes or however many. Already loved it. Love revisiting it. And yeah, we are coming back after 15 years. The Six Gun is reborn. So, we've got the original one that was set in 1866, very cowboys, all of that. I don't want to give away the ending of that, but this does take place 3 decades after the original Six Gun. Now we are right at the turn of the new millennium, coming into the 20th century, and the Six Gun is about to be reborn once again, as it's been for countless eons. But we don't quite know how it's going to get reborn. We read in that one shot that at some point, like during the Crusades or the medieval times, it was a sword. We can see that on the cover here. But it's going to be reborn as something else. And this time, however, a brigade of familiar fighters lie in wait to meet the Six Guns' nigh unlimitless power head on against a cabal that wishes to harness its unspeakable power for evil. And it says the battle for the Six Gun begins now. So I can't wait for this. This is awesome. I love returning to this world. If you've never read it, there's some great collected editions of it out there.
Please do yourself a favor and go get those 3 Six Gun collected edition compendiums, whatever. Those 3 collect the full series, and then there's a 4th one that has like a couple extra like mini series and things like that. This book is so good, like. And I not a lot of people talk about it.
And it's kind of in a genre of its own.
Yeah.
It's I think they described it once as if like True Grit and Lord of the Rings mix or something like that.
Yeah, it's a supernatural western.
Supernatural western with like snake-headed cowboys and supernatural ghosts. Because I couldn't remember what all the guns did originally. And rereading, it's like one like everyone that it's killed, he can shoot it into the dirt, and the ghosts of the people that died come up as like mud men and stuff, and one like has the power of a cannonball being shot and stuff. It's just crazy cool.
Yeah, it's so good.
Cullen Bunn, Brian Hurt, Bill Crabtree back again. Don't miss this. I can't wait for it. This is your A cover by Brian Hurt, your interior artist. There's a Valeria Berzo cover, and we saw this guy in the one shot, which was really cool, where he ran a hotel that's just mysteriously in like the bottom of the Grand Canyon, just sitting there out of nowhere. And then there is a sketch cover as well. Next up, we have more Essential Comics. Like we were saying, this is a big week.
This is Absolute Martian Manhunter number 5. And in this one, there's an attack on the Middleton Power Station that causes a citywide blackout. So I wrote this. This sentence is in the solicitation. It says, "As night falls, dark sides are unleashed." Now, I don't think, for a minute I was like, oh, dark side, that maybe is a veiled reference to dark side, but I just think it means like the dark sides of people.
Yeah, because what it continues to say sounds...
Yeah, it does say it's John Jones and the Martian against a city full of psychopaths and the one behind it all as well. So, we know it. We saw in issue 4 that, that got resolved though, the heat wave and the sun.
Heat wave, but then
but then he said
all part of
that's actually what wanted. Yeah, so this will be a continuation of that. But yeah, when it said dark sides are unleashed, I was like, is that like a little Easter egg? But no, it's just like the dark side of humanity basically.
But I'm looking forward to seeing them kind of team up and like see some action.
Yeah. So this is our A cover. There's a Francisco Francavilla cover and a Lee Garbett variant.
The series is so good, and I'm sure this has to be nominated for an Eisner at some point.
Yeah, there's nothing else like it.
Yeah, no, not at all. Well, next up, we have Absolute Wonder Woman, issue number 10. This series, I think, is just getting better as it goes. It is so cool. We now have Wonder Woman in this maze looking for an Amazon. She heard that in this seemingly magical maze, I'm sure there's some magic to it, that there is an Amazon. Of course, her greatest desire is to find another Amazon, kind of to learn more about herself and everything. But it seems like that truth eludes her over and over, and she begins to question everything, even her mission. And it does also mention something new is rising up in Gateway City. Meanwhile, over there.
Yeah.
So maybe that's, a new threat that Wonder Woman will have to face. But this last issue, number 9, was awesome. I
Mm-hmm.
can't wait to check out number 10. And yeah, another fantastic series. So we've got our A cover here. We have a Chris Anka
Ooh,
variant, which is
I like
awesome.
that. She doesn't
And
use her big sword
I know.
since.
And a Mahmoud Asrar. She couldn't in the maze. It
Yeah, it's
would
not big
not.
enough.
She couldn't. She
Yeah.
couldn't swing that at all.
That's
It's like,
another one that looks like a statue.
yeah, it's like playing Dark Souls where you swing and it just
Oh,
like
yeah.
smacks on
Yeah.
the wall.
Next is Exquisite Corpses number 3. Not a lot of information about this one. It does say the blood gets pumping when death is administered to the hospital, so that makes me think that maybe there's going to be some.
I think that surgeon guy.
Oh, right. And 2 of the game's deadliest killers come face to face at the concert hall. So this isn't not a lot going on other than just like the game has started, and
Yeah.
now the killers are going at each other, and who's going to be the one left standing. So
Who's caught in between.
right, exactly. So I love it though. I can't wait for this one. This is our A cover. There's a Valentine Delandro variant and a Michael Walsh polybag variant with the playing card.
Yeah, that character was creepy when he showed up in the last one. He's
Yeah.
like, "No, guys, I'm a nurse. I've
Yeah.
been here the whole time."
Yeah. Oh, and there's a
Yeah.
stealth variant.
Yeah,
which,
with that guy who was in
with
the
that
previous
guy, yeah.
issue. Well, next up we have Gotham City Sirens, Unfit for Orbit, number 4 of 5. Hey guys, the series is almost over. Oh wait, you haven't read the first one? No, because it comes out this coming week on Wednesday.
Yep.
We'll be talking about it on Monday.
We're so far ahead because it's weekly. So
it's weekly, yeah. So still, it's the same solicitation for every issue, talking about the story.
Oh, right.
But we'll be able to talk. We'll understand more of what it's all about when we cover it on Monday. But I can't wait. It looks awesome. I flipped through it. I love Gotham City Sirens, whatever form it takes. So don't miss out on this one because it's going to be over before you know it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you enjoy the first one, you're gonna kick yourself that you didn't pre-order the other ones. So we've got our A cover right here by Terry Dodson. We have a Nubavitch variant, which you went from aliens to Egypt.
Yep.
And we also have the Gilliam March connecting variant, as well as there's going to be the foil version of this as well.
You were making me nervous because you were hovering over the stop recording button. I was like, oh, don't click that. Yeah. All right, next up is Blink and You'll Miss It, number 1. This is a new series from Boom. This is written by Ethan S. Parker and Griffin Sheridan, and the art is by Keith Browning. And this is described as a mind-bending fairy tale. It's about Melody Nelson and Jesse Harmon. They fell in love a long time ago in the tiny town of Perennial Harbor, but since they parted ways, that place has grown stranger and stranger. But then it says everything is just as it was decades ago, and maybe that's what's strange about it is that it hasn't changed at all. And the strained smiles of its residents mask a bizarre secret. And then when Melody's life begins to unravel, she finds herself slipping backward in time. She must uncover the truth behind this mystery before it destroys her and the only one she's ever cared for, which is Jesse Harmon. So yeah, just a cool new, kind of sounds like maybe a little time travel-y supernatural book from Boom. So it sounds interesting. This is our A cover. There is a Ward variant and a 20th anniversary variant from Puebla.
Well, next up we have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, number 1. So this is the third series teaming up these two teams. And this is by Ryan Parrott, and the art is by Vincenzo Frederici. And not a whole lot of information. It just talks about after, I think, Krang and Rita were defeated previously. Now Lord Zed and Shredder have a plan to take down the two teams. So you know what you're in for with this. Some good times, some kung fu, some karate, and all the other kinds of fighting that they do, mixing the two universes. So if you read the previous ones, definitely check this one out. We've got a bunch of covers for this as well. Well, we got a couple. This is your A cover. We have a Dan Mora variant.
Yep.
And we have the Boom 20th Anniversary variant by, I believe this is Tula Lote.
Next up is Gods, One World Under Doom. This is a one-shot written by Ryan North. The art is by Francesco Mortarino. And this is about Wynn, who was sort of the central character from the Gods miniseries written by Jonathan Hickman. He wants to know how Doom took over the world and how to stop it, because he's the avatar of the powers that be, which is he's very godlike himself. Um, he brings along his apprentice, Mia Demaria, which we saw in the God series as well. She soon finds herself at the center of a crisis that could impact Earth for generations to come. But Doom believes that she has potential if she were to be freed from Wynn's control, or maybe his, if he could get her away from him, he thinks that maybe he can use her for something else. So just a one shot tying into One World Under Doom. But if you enjoyed the God series, definitely don't miss this. There's an A cover, and then this is the Yasmin Putri variant. I like that one.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, next up, this is Thundercats Powerpuff Girls #1. We have talked about this many a time, all the way back at Free Comic Book Day, but it's been solicited a couple of times. And I wanted to bring this up once again, like we talked about in our last show. It's distributed through, or this is a Dynamite book, which was previously distributed through Diamond. But since they filed for bankruptcy and everything, Dynamite has moved to Lunar. And I wanted to reassure you, so many people are so like, oh no, what's going to happen with Diamond gone? This is fantastic news.
Yeah.
If you notice how much this stuff has got delayed and delayed, I believe now you are better than ever ordering Dynamite stuff. It's going to come in on time, have a more regular release schedule, be more reliable, all of that. So this is nothing but good news if you are a fan of Dynamite titles going forward. It's already cleaned up and it looks so much better when I go in to order all of it. And yeah, I just think this is phenomenal news. And don't believe the people who say it's terrible that Diamond's going out. It's sad to see a company that's been around so long go. But for stores and everything who order stuff, and customers who love Dynamite books, this is great news.
Yep.
So, this series, of course, this follows up what we read at Free Comic Book Day. Powerpuff Girls find themselves in the Thundercats universe without their powers, but they're gifted these weapons that do give them powers. They team up with Bengal. Felt like I've described that series multiple times, but finally we can get into it. And you're going to be seeing more Dynamite books going forward as we can talk about these. And you'll be seeing them more on our Monday show because they will actually be in on time, whereas before they haven't been.
Yep.
So this is all good. And of course, there's a bunch of covers for this. This is your Ganichow A cover. We have a Coleman Ingle variant. This is your interior artist. We have a Corin Kizzer Stone variant. That one's really cool. I like that art for
Yeah, that's great.
We have a Sowie variant, a Nicoletta Baldari variant, and a Ken Haster original variant, which is also really cool.
Next is the Hero Trade Project Chimera #1. This is going to be a 2-issue series from Bad Idea, and this is the second Hero Trade series. There was a 2-issue Hero Trade before, I believe, too. This is written by Matt Kent. The art is by David Lapham. It's going to be 64 pages. And it's about these two people, Hank and Ingrid. They are lead agents at Project Chimera, and they have been tasked with keeping twin teenagers, Trey and Trina's world-destroying powers in check. The teens have remained locked inside this tightly secure black site, and they've been conditioned to believe that if they go outside, they won't be able to survive. Because I guess whoever's running this, they have world-destroying powers, and they don't want them to get out. But Trey is beginning to unravel, and Trina is starting to question everything. And there are rumors of a mole inside the organization threatening to bring everything down. So will Trey and Trina get out and destroy the world? I don't know. But yeah, this is the next in the Hero Trade line of books. This is our A cover, and there's a Rob Liefeld variant.
Yeah. It's interesting to see him draw a just regular character.
Yeah.
Well, next up we have Hellboy in Love, The Art of Fire #1. This is going to be only a 2-issue miniseries, but I can't wait for it because I love the previous Hellboy in Love book by Mike Mignola, Christopher Golden. The art is by Alex Nieto. Hellboy and the archaeologist Anastasia Brassfield trek to Iceland for evidence of a seemingly impossible network of occultists. But a fresh dig site holds answers that come at a steep and risky price. So, if you're a Hellboy fan, definitely don't miss this because all of these have been so good. And we've only got one cover for it.
And next is Archie versus Minor Threats #1. This sounds really cool. So, when Sabrina the Teenage Witch hijacks a Riverdale field trip to Twilight City to recover a magical artifact, she accidentally lands Archie, Betty, Veronica, and Reggie in the costume criminal underworld led by Playtime and Scalpel. So, they accidentally go to the Minor Threats universe. And there, they are mistaken for supervillain henchmen and enlisted in Playtime's current war on magic against Top Hat, a mysterious figure from Frankie's past. And while all that's going on, a starving Jughead and Josie and the Pussycats head to Bite Burger, where they encounter Barfly's punk rocker. I won't say his name on this video,
Yeah.
but yeah. So a little bit of Barfly in there too. So yeah, just if you're a Minor Threats fan or an Archie fan, I just love these Archie books that put Archie with characters that you would never think that they were with, like the Archie and Jay and Silent Bob. Like, I love that kind of stuff. This is our A cover. There is a Scott Koblish variant. There is a Joe Quinones variant, a Dan Parent variant, and a Mike Allred variant.
That one's awesome. I love that big crab guy.
Yeah.
Well, next up we have The Jungle #1. This is going to be a 5-issue miniseries. I want to talk about this because years ago, back I worked at many a comic book store. This was at the first one I worked at. There was a book that came out called Humans, and it was about a world that is, instead of humans, there's like apes, kind of like Planet of the Apes. But these were the most debaucherous, crazy apes biker gang.
Okay.
This was at the time maybe the most mature book I ever saw with what these apes were up to, and this is a follow up to that. I think the original one was an Image book, but this is from I'm not even sure what the publisher of this.
Uncivilized Books.
Okay, Uncivilized Books. So this is by the original Humans creator, Keenan Marshall Keller and Tom Neely. And in this one, 3 of the biker apes enter a prison known to the inmates as the Jungle. Without broads, bud, or bikes, they face off against Dirty Warden, Crooked Screw cults, mafiosos, and more. This is going to be it says King Kong size issue, which means it's magazine size. At least based on what the Humans book was. This is not for kids. This is crazy. Yeah, I don't know how else to describe it.
But I'm sold.
It was very interesting, the original Humans. I know it had a big fan base, and it's cool to see that coming back after so many years. Yeah. And just the one cover for it.
And this is Savage Wolverine #1. This is written by Thomas Bloom, and the artist by Dev Malia Pramanik, who is the current artist on Moon Knight Fists of Khonshu, and is awesome. I love his work. And this is a physical printing of the Infinity comic. It says that Wolverine cuts a bloody path through the American West as Krakoa's sins come back to haunt all mutant kind. So I don't know if this took place back during the Krakoan era or if it's after that, but there's still some weird stuff going on with Krakoa. But yeah, this is the physical version of the digital Infinity comic from Marvel Unlimited. This is our A cover, and there's a Clayton Crane variant.
I always love when Wolverine rides his bike and drags his claws next to it. Well, next up we have Vampirella Armageddon. Like we said, another Dynamite book that I think was solicited quite a while ago, but now you can feel better ordering it, that it will be in when it says it's going to be in without too many delays. So this is by Tom Snigoski and the artist by Huber Ball. And this is a return to the future world of Sepulchre City. This is that kind of weird, like future. It's not futuristic Vampirella, but it's kind of this like dark future. This picks up where Vampirella Strikes ended, as Vampirella is beset on all sides by forces of chaos. So really cool if you like that last series. I'm sure you could probably jump into this one as well. But also just wanted to spotlight Dynamite and their switch in distributors to more reliable. So this is your A cover for that. Tina, we've got a Lierix cover. We've got a Mark Spears cover that's kind of not a connecting, but there's a Vampirella cover for Mark Spears Monsters that kind of goes
Oh,
along
okay.
with it. And then there's also a Linsner cover.
Oops, sorry. All right, next up is Green Lantern number 25. Now, this is going to be a pretty big one because this starts a new story that crosses over with the Green Lantern Corps. They've been building to something pretty big for a while, and it all starts right here. So, the Green Lantern Corps race to Gem World, hoping to find a gem that will light the new central power batteries because they have been working on reestablishing those because the absence of the central power batteries has caused chaos in the emotional spectrum. There's nothing to sort of rein it all in, so they're trying to rebuild all that back. But to do it, they'll have to beat Starbreaker and his minions, who has been sort of a big looming threat in the Green Lantern book for a while. Meanwhile, Ellie uncovers a secret buried inside Kelly's mind, and an old friend returns to Oa. And I think maybe, I don't know if that's Gnort or. I'm not sure. I think maybe he's already on Oa. I can't remember. But yeah, so if you've been reading Green Lantern, they've been sort of almost kind of telling one big story for since the beginning, and now it's sort of building to this big. I'm not going to say an event, but it's just a big crossover between the two Green Lantern books. It's going to be a big story. I'm excited for it because I love both of these books right here. This is our A cover, and it's a wraparound cover. There's a Carlos Danda variant that looks great. There's a Salvador LaRocca variant. There's a David Parator variant, and a blank sketch variant. That's the white.
The
Power
White
of the White
Lantern.
Light, yeah.
Next up, we have Justice League Unlimited, issue number 9, and this is the epilogue to the We Are Yesterday story. So it says from the ashes of time, the quantum quorum, which we'll have to figure out exactly. We kind of know what that is, but kind of not. We don't know fully the scope of it. But in the aftermath of the We Are Yesterday, the Justice League is reeling from the Legion of Doom's wrathful rampage. Secrets unlocked during their time cross duel have brought our heroes face to face with a mysterious quantum quorum. And yeah, so you've got the World Forger, you've got
Grodd, I guess.
Grodd,
and the Time Trapper.
Yeah, so I also feel like this is going to be leading up to something very big.
Absolutely, and the Time Trapper, he is a pretty
central. Time Trapper?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty important character in what's coming.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
But yeah, I mean, Justice League Unlimited, still amazing. I can't wait for this one. This is our Dan Mora A cover. We have a Masafara cover, which is just so epic.
Yeah.
We have a De Silva variant.
That's an interesting choice. Martian, Manhunter, and Joker.
Yeah. I wonder if that means any. I don't know. We've got a Travis Moore cover, which that one is also really cool. Just all the hits. Mm-hmm. We've got a Derek Chu Gotham City Sirens variant. And a Frank Quietly Superman movie variant, which is very All-Star Superman feeling.
Yep.
Pose-wise.
And next up is Ultimate Spider-Man number 19, and this one features Fisk Fisk versus Mr. Negative versus Mysterio. Sounds like there's just a big free-for-all. Spider-Man and his allies are caught in the middle, and will the Sinister Six destroy New York before they destroy each other? So this book has been a bit of a slow burn, but you can feel that everything's been building to something, and I think we're about to get there. The issue number 18 that came out this week was awesome, so can't wait to get some more action next issue. This is our A cover. We have a Gerald Perel Mary Jane variant and a Trad Moore variant.
Well, next up, this is really exciting. This is the Ultimates number 14, and check out that cover. We have Ultimate Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver make their debut as the Ultimates' next mission, destroy one of the Hellfire Club's strongholds. And I don't know if we've heard the Hellfire Club spoken of in the Ultimate universe yet. So is there going to be an Ultimate Emma Frost? Is there going to be... I don't know.
Maybe the Hellfire Club is something totally different here.
Yeah, but a dangerous pair of twins complicates matters. And, of course, the twins being Pietro and Wanda. So, yeah, this is very cool. They just released some of the information on... what issue was that?
I think it was maybe like 17.
Yeah, coming up that looks very, very interesting. That maybe, hints
toward, 17. Yeah.
Towards some stuff with
Doom.
Richards something.
Maybe.
So yeah, this series continues to be great. I love how almost every issue of this series has some big like, whoa, that's cool. But we've got our A cover here. We have an Inyuk Lee Ultimate Special variant, which I like those looks for the characters. Quicksilver almost has the speed suit of the character Speed with the green. And then we also have a Juan Ferreira cover with the original Human Torch. Next up, we have continuing stories. These are just books that are going on and are continuing with their series.
Starting with Mr. Terrific Year 1, number 3. And again, this is a 6-issue miniseries. Number 2 came out, I think it was this week, yeah. And I liked that issue a lot, like way better than the first one. Like, things are really getting going here. In this one, Mr. Terrific is propelled by a new sense of purpose. He puts his first costume on for the first time so that he can go out and lay siege to Athena Prescott's tower in Gateway City. But she has her sights set on him too, and he might find out that you can't bring T-spheres to a gunfight. And in the present, Mr. Terrific's encounter with an apocalyptian hound lands him in some dimension-hopping hot water.
Wow.
So, and there's been like, in this one, like the scene set in present day, I feel like also may contribute to whatever is coming in October too. So don't sleep on this one. This is a fun series. This is our A cover, and there's a Raja variant.
Well, next up we have Spider-Man and Wolverine issue number 3. Issue number 2 of this was awesome. I mean, issue number 1 was also awesome, but issue number 2, you want, your action comics. There is so much action in this series. And this one, it just says that Peter and Logan are in the Savage Lands. How did they get there? What's going on? We'll have to read to find out, because the last issue, basically, I could say it takes place in the span of like 10 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
in one spot.
One spot. So this looks really, really cool, and it's interesting. Black suit and brown suit.
Yes, my two favorite suits for them. So
yeah. So this is gonna be really cool. But another series, like, definitely check out, because this just packs so many kind of punches. This is your A cover, and there's a Dan Panosian variant, which is very cool. Cross homage.
Yeah. Next up is Lost Fantasy number 3. And in this one, Henry and Nihilus face off, but will Nihilus be able to free Henry from the Mind Worm's control? And then down in the world beneath, Quorum is called to order to get to the bottom of who is covering up the killings in Montana. We still don't even really know what's going on up in Montana. There's weird stuff, but we don't know like what's behind it all yet. So this is our A cover, and there's an Alex Diodo variant. Nice Devil May Cry. Homage.
Yeah, I love all these PlayStation and stuff homage covers. Next up, we have The Thing, issue number 3. There's no new info in the solicitation for this, just that, he's still fighting all these villains, and he doesn't know who's behind all of it as he's looking for this lost girl. All of that, but it's been a fun series so far, so it continues here with number 3. This is your A cover, and then there is a Pete Woods variant, which is really cool. Yeah.
Next up is Vision and the Scarlet Witch number 3. And in this one, Wanda and Vision enter the grave realm, but all is not as it seems. They're forced to partake in a twisted game that leads them to a ballroom. Can they dance their way through as death tries to wrench them apart? In the grave realm, they actually went through one of those death's doors in issue 2 that came out this week as well to try to figure out what's going on. And now they're going to have adventures in there, I guess. I've actually really been enjoying the series a lot. The last couple Scarlet Witch miniseries weren't really for me, but this one has been great. This is our A cover, and there's a Larix variant.
It's really nice. Next up, we have Spawn Universe, Curse of Shirley Johnson, number 2. It's been a while since the issue number 1. I think because it was like a double-sized issue. It kind of took the place of issues 1 and 2, even though this is the issue number 2. But I love the first one. I think Jonathan Glapian's art on this is very reminiscent of Greg Capullo. Since he was Greg Capullo's inker for so long, we got very classic Spawn feel as we follow our new protagonist, Shirley Johnson. But in this one, Shirley has finally found a protector in the mysterious being known as the Stranger. You can see him there on kind of the right side. But now she may be the only one who could save his life. So if you are a fan of number 1, don't miss out on number 2. We've got our A cover here, and as a very creepy Dan Panosian variant.
Make it go away, yeah.
Going.
This is Vanishing Point number 3. This is a 6-issue miniseries. I've been really enjoying this. This is from Mark Russell and Ryan Alexander Tanner. And this story is called Cell Structure. And this one is about a floating research station that performs horrifying experiments on alien prisoners to discover the common elements of life and all living things. And again, Vanishing Point, if you don't know, it's just an anthology series sort of combining sci-fi with horror. Each issue is a separate one and done story, so you can read any of these at any time. Doesn't matter the order at all. So this is our A cover, and that's the only one.
Next up, we have Biker Mice from Mars number 2. Number 1 was awesome. It came out this week and definitely had more depth and emotion and stuff than I was expecting. It started out like your, classic Biker Mice from Mars story, and then it took a big turn, and this one follows up on that. The mice learned the truth about the volcanic eruption in issue number 1, and that's where it really took a turn, is when this volcanic eruption happened.
Have we seen all these characters before?
Yeah, that's like they've built up
I thought there was just 3 in the cartoon.
Yeah,
right?
they've built up a big group of biker mice now that are kind of the protectors. Cool. Yeah. So issue number 1 was awesome and turned from action to tragedy and survival and all of that very on a dime, and it was really cool. So this is your A cover, and we have a Juan Cabal variant.
This is Illuminati number 2. Number 1 comes out next week, and we'll be talking about that on Monday. But in this one, Lily, I guess, is one of the characters. I guess that's maybe her in the front there. She is on the trail of the mysterious group who she suspects are behind the murder of her aspiring pop star sister. But she soon finds that they have their eye on her as well, and will the temptation that they offer her be too much for her to pass up? So a little bit confusing sounding because we haven't read number 1 yet, but we will know better about this story next Monday. And this is our only cover.
Well, next up, again, want to point out this is Captain Planet number 2. I feel like this has been on FOC for months now. When issue number 1 came out, I don't know how long ago, but now it is back on track. So if you checked out number 1 and you want to be on the series and everything, you can rest assured that issue number 2 is on its way. So we've got a couple of covers for this. This is our A cover by Chad Hardin. We have a Jay Lee cover, a Christian Ward cover, and a Ben Oliver cover. Next up, we got Cover Gallery. Some really cool covers.
Starting with DC vs. Vampires World War V, number 11 of 12. This is the Ryan Brown variant, and then there is a Homer variant.
Which looks like that could just be a cover for a Supergirl book.
Yeah, put that on anything.
Next up, we have Hello Darkness number 13. These always have such great covers. This is the Jenny Frison variant. And there's also a Johnson variant, which I think also looks crazy cool.
This is Incredible Hulk number 27. This is the Eric Larson retro variant. I love the look. I love the weathered look. Yeah, this is great.
Next up is Power Rangers Prime number 9. This is the Boom 20th Anniversary variant by Tula Lotay. Also, if you don't know who that character is in this series, very surprising.
I don't know who it is.
It's very surprising.
Okay. This is nice. This is Barbarella. I was wondering why you included this.
Yeah.
This is Barbarella number 5. This is the Richard Pace variant, and this is another book from Dynamite that again will start coming in much more reliably now that they have shifted to Lunar. I love anything that's ever homages this. I think is awesome.
Yeah. Next up, we have Feral number 15. Always love pointing out these really cool homage covers. Of course, this is the Tris Forrester and Alan Pasaqua variant. And this one is, I believe, The Conjuring.
Oh, I think you're right, yeah. And this is Detective Kaiju number 2. This is the Michael Colero Noir homage variant. It says Noir homage variant, but come on.
We all know what
Batman
that is.
animated series.
It's
come
Batman
on.
Animated series. It's the font and everything, the lightning bolt. This is really cool. This is Rockefellers issue number 7, the Raymond Box Fantastic Four homage variant, homaging Fantastic Four number 1.
That is the one I will definitely be getting. And then this is Something is Killing the Children number 43, the Boom 20th Anniversary variant from Dan Panosian.
Dan Panosian, crank it out. So many covers. And next up, we got Bookshelf, some collected editions or graphic novels that you can check out. Starting with JLA Earth 2, the deluxe edition. I love JLA Earth 2. I read this back as a regular collected edition, and it was kind of what really like cemented like understanding the crime syndicate and everything. This is by Grant Morrison and Frank Quietly, so this is your team behind All Star Superman and so many awesome books out there. And this is the deluxe edition, so it has all the issues plus a lot of extra cool stuff. And this is going to be $29.99. Have you read this?
I have not read this actually.
Very,
I will
very
definitely be
good.
ordering this one though. This is DC Finest Horror, The Devil's Doorway. So this is cool. This is going to be $39.99, and this is the first DC Finest book that just collects like some different horror stories from back in the late '60s, early '70s. Actually, it says it runs from May 1969 to April 1970, and this features works from awesome writers like Jerry Conway, Marv Wolfman, and Len Wein. This collects House of Secrets 81 through 85, House of Mystery 180 through 185, Phantom Stranger 5, The Witching Hour 3 through 7, and The Unexpected 113 through 117. So a lot of late 60s, early 70s DC horror books. Like this is really cool. And this comes out on September 9th. So in time for Halloween.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a cool one to get.
Next up, we have Essential Judge Dredd, Dredd versus Death trade paperback. I included this because I own this. This is a new printing of it, but this was the first like full Judge Dredd thing I read and fell in love with it. This collects kind of, I don't know if it's all the appearances of Judge Death, who is a judge from another universe. It's like literally like bones cover the entire ground there as you like have to wade through them and everything. And this is stories all the way from classic Judge Dredd all to some more recent stuff. It's so good. I ate this up, but this is one of the ones I couldn't put down. So you've got John Wagner, Brian Bolin doing so much of it and more. So if you've never read Judge Dredd,
I've never read any Judge
this
Dredd
is
ever.
a great one to start with. Some people may say different things, but for me, this was the first one I read and what made me love the character and the world. It's all black and white like the original, and it's oversized, kind of magazine sized, and it's just easy to read, so much fun. The stories are short, but there's a lot of them.
Action packed.
Action packed,
Yeah.
but with the sense of humor that Judge Dredd has. The other judges as well. The other scary judge is the one that's always on fire and stuff are in there. And this is $28.99.
Nice. I may have to get that because I've always wanted to read Judge Dredd. I've never read any, and I know there's so much out there.
Yeah.
I don't know where to start with it.
Yeah, I got all my recommendations from a English person who worked on them.
Nice. This is the Marvel Team Up Omnibus Volume 1. This is going to be $100. It collects Marvel Team Up number 1 through 30, Daredevil number 103, Giant Size Superheroes number 1, and Giant Size Spider-Man number 1 through 3. So Marvel Team Up is basically a Spider-Man team-up book, even though it's not called Spider-Man Team-Up, but this was the second ongoing series featuring Spider-Man after Amazing Spider-Man back. This came out started coming out in the 70s. And this was his sort of like second ongoing, or was it? I think it was this one. It was one of them anyway. But yeah, so just some cool Spider-Man team-up stories. This is the standard edition cover, which is available at bookshops everywhere, and then this is the direct market cover, which is available at comic book stores like ours. And this is definitely the one I'll be getting because I love Spider-Man and Hulk together.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the 80s when I would watch Spider-Man, His Amazing Friends, and then the Hulk cartoon. So I just love them together.
Just the red, the blue, the green, all that.
Love
they just pop. Next up is Cornhow's Lilith trade paperback. This collects the whole first series of Lilith. And Lilith is a character that Cornhow created like for Instagram and stuff for posts that just drew this character over and over.
I didn't know that.
And then worked it into a story. And I got to go to Cornhow's table in Chicago when we were there and pick up an art book. This is just as good of art as a story. And in this one, of course, it follows Lilith, who is a immortal from a universe that's not, or a dimension that's not too different from Hell, who has been banished to Earth and has been posing as a model while secretly preying on humans. and maybe finds a way to get back to her original realm. So this is a mature title, but it's really cool. It's all in this like red and white and tones of those two. And yeah, I've really enjoyed this issue by issue. So you can get all this for $19.99. Next up, we just got a couple of new printings.
This is Fantastic Four number 8, the facsimile edition. This is the first appearance of the Puppet Master. And
we got to get him in the MCU at some point.
Yeah,
That'd
and
be horrifying.
I'm pretty sure Alicia Masters is her first appearance too, because because they're is it her uncle or father? I think it's her father, right?
Is Puppet Master?
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's her father.
That always makes it fun later when like they just have family stuff and he's there.
Yeah, he always pops up. Yeah, what are you doing here? Yeah. So yeah, facsimile edition, all the original ads and everything. And are they doing the foil and the blank variant too?
Yeah, the blank and all of that for this as well. And we also have Emma Frost, the White Queen, #1, the second printing, of course, the David Nakayama cover. This just came out this week, right?
No, I think it was last week.
Was that last week?
Yeah.
But it was fantastic, set in a classic X-Men time period with some great classic X-Men appearances. If you missed out on the #1 and you want to grab the second printing, here it is. And that is it for Comics from the Future. Thank you so much for watching. It was a big week, like we said. Tons of stuff to go over. Tons of great covers. All of that. So don't miss out by heading over to infinityflux.net and pre-ordering these books, the ones that most speak to you. And you will not be disappointed in a few weeks when they arrive. That way they're not sold out and you will have them set aside for you. Now, we've got our show coming up on Monday, and we got a whole ton
we got
of books to go over.
A whole bunch of stuff, including, I'm trying to find it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Captain America #1, Chip Zdarsky and Valerio Schiti. I have been looking forward to this for months, ever since they announced it. Like, I'm going to go home, eat dinner, and then read this immediately because, oh my gosh.
I'm going to read it while eating dinner.
Ooh, well,
I'm going to use it as my fork.
Well, but, okay. It's not ours, though. Like, I always have, I try not to read these when eating because we have to return them. If you get one
with pasta sauce on it, it was mine.
That's right.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge week on Monday, so don't miss out on that because there is some Ultimate Wolverines and Secret Six and
Justice League, Godzilla,
Gotham City Sirens finally.
Godzilla and Thor and Daredevil and Bring on the Bad Guys, Green Goblin. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, so yeah. Yes. Lots of stuff for next week.
Lots of stuff. So don't miss out on our Monday show where we'll be going over all these plus their variants, all that good stuff. Make sure to subscribe so you know and it's in your subscription feed and everything when that goes live on Monday. So subscribe, like this video. Let us know in the comments which of these books you're most excited for. And until next time, see ya.